You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a spreadsheet, and it's just a wall of numbers. Your eyes start to glaze over. Well, today, we're going to crack the code on data visualization. We're talking about how to turn that sea of numbers, into a story. Something clear and powerful that you can understand, like, instantly.
Okay, so to really get a feel for how powerful this is, let's start with a little exercise, a quick brain teaser. This is going to show you firsthand just how amazing our brain's visual shortcut is when we give it the right clues.
All right, have a look at your screen. It's just a big block of numbers. Total chaos, right? I mean, it's almost designed to make your head hurt.
Okay, here's the challenge for you. How many times can you find the number 7 in there? Go on, I'll give you a second. It's not easy, is it? You kind of have to force your brain to scan, row by row, number by number. It's slow, and let's be honest, it's a total pain.
Okay, now, what about this? It's the exact same block of numbers. We just made one tiny change. We used a splash of color to highlight the 7s. How fast can you count them now? Yeah, it's pretty much instant, right?
And there you have it. The answer is 17. See? So much easier. Your brain barely had to do any work at all.
So what just happened? It's not magic, it's actually just brain science. What you just experienced are called pre-attentive attributes. And you can just think of them as these awesome shortcuts. Things like color, or size, or position, they're things our brains pick up on automatically. I'm talking milliseconds, before you even have to consciously think about it. This is the real secret sauce behind making data easy to understand.
And that little exercise perfectly sets up our main point here. Data visualization. It's not just about making things look pretty. Nope, it's about a much bigger transformation. It's about turning all those raw, messy numbers into something that you can actually use to make smart decisions.
So you can think of this whole process like climbing a pyramid. We start at the very bottom with all that raw data, and our goal is to climb all the way to the top where we have a real, actionable strategy.
So, at the very bottom, the foundation of our pyramid, we have data. Just raw facts and figures, totally unorganized. Picture a giant spreadsheet with every single sale from the past year. It's just a wall of numbers that, by itself, doesn't really tell you a thing.
Okay, let's take one step up the pyramid. We take that raw data and we start to organize it. Maybe we sort the sales by region or by month. And just like that, we've turned it into information. Suddenly, we can start answering simple questions like, hey, what did we sell? Or where did we sell the most? The numbers finally have some context.
Moving up again, we get to knowledge. This is where we start to analyze that information and look for patterns. We start asking how questions. How did our sales in the North compare to the South last quarter? See, it's not just about what happened anymore. It's about understanding the connections, the trends. This is where those aha moments start to happen.
And finally, we reach the very top of the pyramid, strategy. This is the end game. We take all that knowledge we've gained and we use it to build a plan. Now we can answer the really big questions, the why questions. Why are sales down in the North, and what are we going to do about it? This is the point where data stops being just numbers and becomes a real tool for making things happen. So, how do we make that climb up the pyramid effectively? Well, there are a few core rules we need to follow. Think of them as guiding principles to make sure our visuals are clear, honest, and, actually have an impact.
And what's really cool is that these rules aren't super complicated. They're mostly common sense. Like, right tool for the job. That just means don't try to show a trend over time with a pie chart, right? Be factual and ethical means don't mess with your axes to make something look bigger than it is. Size matters means if one bar is twice as tall, it should represent double the value. Simple. And color me appropriately. Use color to make a point, not just to make it pretty. And my favorites, support your message, and the classic, keep it simple. Basically, if something on your chart isn't helping tell the story, it's just getting in the way.
Okay, let's look at an example. Check out this chart. It says score, but score of what? Whose score? When? The colors are all over the place, there are no labels. I honestly have no idea what this is trying to tell me. It's a perfect example of breaking pretty much all of those rules we just talked about. This is data, sure, but it's definitely not information. But now, look at this. It's the same data, just fixed. We've got a clear title that tells you the main point right away. The years are labeled. We've even used a pop of color to draw your eye to the most important bar. Suddenly, the story is crystal clear. Defects more than doubled in a year. Now that is the power of following a few simple rules.
All right, let's dig into that first rule a little deeper because it's a big one. Choosing the right chart for the job. This is absolutely key to getting your message across clearly.
So if you're comparing different things, like sales for different products, the bar graph is your go-to. It's just so easy to see which bar is taller, right? You can instantly see who the winner is. A quick word of advice, though. Don't try to cram like 50 bars in there. It just becomes a mess.
Now, what if you want to show a trend over time? Say, how your website traffic has changed over the last year. For that, the line graph is king. It's perfect for showing that journey, the ups and downs, those peaks and valleys. Just remember, it's really for continuous data, like time, not for comparing separate categories.
And then there's the pie chart. This one is for showing parts of a whole. Think slicing up a budget to see where the money goes. But, and this is a big but, a pro tip for you. Pie charts get really confusing if you have more than, say, 5 or 6 slices. If you've got a lot of small pieces, trust me, a bar chart is almost always the better choice.
Okay, so we've got the principles. We know a bit about choosing the right chart. Now, let's just briefly touch on one of the tools that can bring all this to life, and that's Tableau.
The way Tableau works is actually pretty intuitive. It breaks your data down into 2 basic types. You've got dimensions. These are your descriptive things, your categories like region or product name. And then you have measures. These are the numbers you can count, like sales or profit. You literally just drag and drop these together. So you could drag your region dimension and your sales measure, and boom, you've got a bar chart showing sales by region. And here's the best part. While they have professional versions that cost money, there's something called Tableau Public, and it is totally free. Seriously, it's an amazing way for you to just jump in, play around with some data, and start practicing how to tell your own data stories.
So let's wrap it all up with this one thought. Being good at data visualization, it isn't really a tech skill. It's a communication skill. It's a superpower, really. It's about taking something complex and making it simple and clear, because every single set of data has a story locked inside it. So the final question for you is, are you using the right visuals to let that story speak?